class, welcome back to Faraday's Junior's channel. Today we are to determine the Thevenin's equivalent circuit for the parts labeled what A and that of the B. Okay, it means that our load impedance is going to be the 32 ohms. But then here, because it's what a capacitive reactance, then we are going to label it as what negative 32 and that of what the G. Okay, so thank you very much. And then we know that the Thevenin's equivalent is always what? A voltage source, right? In series with the what? With the Thevenin's what? Impedance, right? And then we have the load also in series with the ZL. Okay, so here we are going to determine the value of ZTH and that of what? The Thevenin's what? Voltage, okay. But we know that anytime we are told to determine the what? The Thevenin's anytime we are told to determine the what? The ZTH, which is the Thevenin's equivalent what? Impedance. It means that we are going to move the equivalent circuit, right? And then if it is a current source, the current source becomes what? Open circuited. In other words, we are going to take it off, right? If it's a voltage source, it becomes what? Short circuited. It means that the corresponding circuit is going to be, here we have the impedance. We can represent all this by what? Z1, right? So we've taken this side off. We've taken the whole of this side off because this one is a current source, okay? Okay, thank you. And then we have our what? Our impedance here, Z1. And Z1 is actually given by, let's write it down, 20 ohm, which is the real part because it's resistance, plus G, because this one is an impedance of what? 20. All this in what? In ohms, okay? And then we have that of the Z2. So here the Z2 will be this, right? It means that the value of Z2 is just only the real part, R2, is equal to 60 watt ohms. Okay, so it means that the corresponding circuit is going to be like this. Okay, where we'll put our ZTH here, and then we'll have our corresponding what? Z2. Okay, we'll call this one Z2, right? And it's actually 60 at 8 ohms. Okay, very good. So this is what we have. Okay, now we are saying that anytime you are to determine the value of ZTH, just assume that there's a current moving from that path. Once you do that, you can see clearly that what? Z1 and Z2 is going to be in power, right? And I've given you the condition for you to be able to solve it in terms of what? Power. That is the only condition whereby all of these terminals are directly connected. You can see that this and this are directly connected. This side and this side is directly connected. Means that we can solve it in power, right? So we can say that what? Since Z1 and Z2 are directly power, then means that we can move on to use the power analysis to find the value of what? The equivalent what? Impedance in the circuit. So we can say ZTH, right? Is equal to Z1 power what? Z2, right? Which will give us what? Z1, Z2, that's product of sum, all divided by Z1 plus what? Z2, okay? Now we know the value of Z1, okay? So we know that Z1, ZTH will be equal to, Z1 is what? 20 plus J20, right? All this multiplied by 68, that's product, divided by the sum, which is 20 plus J20 plus what? 68. Means that our total ZTH will be equal to, so the total ZTH will be equal to 18 plus 13.35 watt 6. Okay, or J like this. We can choose to leave it like this, or we can convert it into the what? Into an angle form. They are all going to give us the same answer, right? So let's do that. We know that the angle, right, should be in the form of what? R angle 1 theta, right? So let's find R. You know the R is always given by root of this square plus this square, right? Now give us 18 square plus 13.356 all squared. Okay, means that the value of R will now be equal to what? 21.3 what degrees. Okay. Now we can move on to find theta, and we know that theta is always given by the tan inverse of what, the real part, which is what, 13.356 divided by 18. Okay. Then it means that the value of theta will now be equal to 32.2 degrees. Thank you very much. Yes. Now let's proceed to find. So it means that our corresponding final answer, of which we've already gotten it, but we are just finding ways to express it. So we can see that our ZTH is given by 21.3. Oh, R wasn't in degrees, sorry. This one is not in degrees. So 21.31 angle of what? 32.12 all in degrees. Okay. Now let me proceed to find the other parameters within the circuit. Okay. Now, what other parameter can we look for? We've gotten our ZTH, right? And then we are now going to find our ETH, right? We are saying that anytime you are looking for the value of ETH, all sources are going to remain as they are, right? And then you move further to what? To analyze the circuit. So this one is what? I. And then I is in parallel with what? Z1, okay? And then finally we have what? This side where we have the ETH connected there. Then we have our final circuit, which involves what? The value of what? R2, okay? So we have our R2, and that's R2 here. Now you can see clearly that here we are going to look for ETH, right? But we know that this ETH is what? The open circuit, right? But then, since it's still open circuit, it means that current doesn't move there, but we have a very strong voltage source there, right? And this side is directly parallel to this. It means that the voltage here is the same as the voltage here, right? So we can just ignore this part of the ETH and just find the value of the current that is going to R2. When we finish, we go to the current, they multiply by the resistance, and that will give us what? The voltage, right? When we have the voltage, then we can proceed to what? To say that the voltage here is the same as the voltage here. Therefore, ETH is equal to what? The voltage of what? R2. Okay. So let's do that. So this one is a current. When it's coming, it's going to share between what? This and that. So we can use the current divider. So the current in the R2 ohms, right, is equal to. So how are we going to go about it? We are saying that anytime you are using the current division, always you take the opposite resistance. Here, this and this one is the opposite, but we are looking for the one here. So it will be Z1 over the summation of the two. Z1 plus what? Z2 all multiplied by y, the current I. It means that the value of I in the R2 ohms will be equal to. So what's the value of Z1? Z1 is given by 20 plus what? J20, right? All divided by, let me write it more. All divided by 20 plus J20, right? Plus the last value, which is what? 68, okay? And that will give us the I2 ohms to be equal to. Multiplied by, the current. And the current is actually giving us what? 0.1 angle 0 degrees. So if you have 0 degrees, you can just ignore it, but you can just write it too. So it means that the value in the I2 will give us a corresponding value, right, of 0.02, okay, 652, and then plus the J part, which is J 0.0167, okay. This is what we have. Now we can proceed to find the value of what? This is the current, okay. Don't forget the resistance at that path was 68 watt ohms. Means that if you have the current, you multiply by the resistance, because the V in a 2 ohm or E in a 2 ohm will be equal to the current in the 2 ohm times the resistance in the 2 ohm, right? So it means that this one will give us the corresponding value of 0.02652 plus J, let me change my pen, plus J 0.0167, all multiplied by 68, right? Which will give us a final solution of the E in the 2 ohm to be equal to 1.8, right, plus J 1.136. 1.136. Okay. So let's convert it to in terms of polar. You can just leave it like it. So we know how to do it, right? As usual, the value of R is equal to this square plus this square, all in a root. So that's 1.8 squared plus 1.136 squared. And that will give us the value of R to be equal to 2.131. And the value of theta is always given by tan inverse of the opposite, which is what? Sorry, the opposite is here, which is the imaginary part, which is given by 1.136 divided by 1.8. That will give us the E in the 2 ohm to be equal to 2.136 angular of 32.2 ohms. Thank you very much.